We can't hear you.
Can you hear now?
Yes, we can.
All right. So I was saying, good evening, everybody. Welcome, Miss Esther. Welcome, Miss Ada, Miss Ibere. Welcome, Miss Miriam. Welcome, especially Miss Olajumoke Mark. Welcome to our webinar. Thank you for honoring us. Thank you for agreeing to do this. Now, I don't have a bio for Miss Olajumoke. I know people like to read bios, but I decided to stop reading bios because I want to speak from my heart, from what I know of the person. Now, Miss Olajumoke is actually popularly a diction coach. English, she does English. Now, what has English got to do with math? What is the connection? How? From where to where? Like, and somebody asked me that because when I put up the flyer, somebody quickly went on Facebook. I think, yeah, it was Facebook. He said and looked out for her and said, "Well, she does more of English and diction and all." And I said, "Wouldn't you like to learn math with Fune? Wouldn't you like to learn math with good English?" We laughed over it. Now, Miss Olajumoke is specialized. She's a primary school teacher, early years also. However, she's specialized in Key Stage 1. Key Stage 1, that is lower primary school. And one thing about Key Stage 1 is if you're very good with early years, then Key Stage 1 is going to be a breeze for you because you understand their struggles. You understand how to make them learn as children, which they are. However, you also learn how to elevate it. You learn how to give them that childlike feeling, but in a more matured way. Ms. Olajumoke has a center. She does online trainings. She trains teachers also in this aspect. In case this webinar is not enough for you and then you want to reach out, then fantastic. Then later this evening, as soon as we are done with this, she has a meeting for teachers today and tomorrow, actually. Tomorrow for webinar, today for prayers. We need to pray. It was what we're talking about that led into our discussions. We need to pray as teachers. We need to understand what's going on. We need to ask God to help us. We need, because apart from the fact that teachers are being killed every day, teachers are leaving the profession. Teachers are not satisfied. Teachers are not happy. Teachers are running from pillar to post, basically. Teachers are trying to get substance, satisfaction. But apart from that, teachers, we need prayers for protection. Right now, we need divine protection because, as we know, government is not there for us. Not just teachers in Nigeria, actually, teachers all over the world. A few days ago, I read about a teacher in America that a student killed. Why? Because the student felt he wasn't loved enough by this particular teacher. But back to what I was saying. Early Key Stage 1, learning math in Key Stage 1. Last year we looked at learning math in early years. Today we're looking at learning math in Key Stage 1. Please help me with lovely emojis and hand claps. Well, let's welcome Miss Olajumoke Mark. Over to you, Mr. Moke.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Good evening, and how are you doing today? She has said it all. Whenever I am in a place where we have educators, I am not a new person. We already know each other somewhere in the classroom that you and I don't know about. So, like she rightly says, my name is Olajumoke, and I'm an educator. Yes, I teach phonics and diction, a public speaker, communicator, expert, and all that. I am also, I was once a full-time classroom teacher. Until now, I still teach early years and lower years on math, English. So I totally understand what it means to teach maths in year one, year two, year three. Firstly, I want to say a very big thank you to Miss Rahina. You did an amazing job. Even before everyone was here, I'd already praised her that she's so consistent in what she does. If I were to be in that shoe, I would have probably given up by now because some of us are not so patient, okay? But thank you for what you do. We can see your impact in the education sector. And she said something. She said, even if she could only impact one teacher, she's good to go. If it's just one teacher, she's good to go. She's not looking for the crowd. She's not looking at pulling crowds, just one teacher. So thank you so much for that, ma'am. Amazing. You deserve an applaud. So let's go
Thank you.
back. Let's go back to the what we have. So, like I said earlier, she has rightly introduced me. I'm Olajumoke, and some of you that joined earlier would hear me say that while growing up, I was a very special being. Okay, very special being in all areas. And when she told me about this topic, it actually struck a chord in me because while I was growing up, till now, actually, it's a secret. Don't tell anyone. Till now, I do not like maths. Till now, it's a secret. It's a secret. I believe my secret is safe with you.
Nope.
So it's not. Oh my God.
Mhm. I'll tell your learners.
So I do not like maths, even till now. And who you would have asked, why does this lady not like maths? And I want you to have at back of your mind this evening, if possible, write it down. If I could do well without knowing maths, I your pupils in your class are not dullards because they don't know maths. No, they are not. No, they are not. No, they are not. They are not. So, because I had issues with learning maths when I was younger, and sincerely, I don't even know how it started. I don't know how I got to have maths as an enemy. I don't know what year it started. I don't know what age. I just knew I grew into not liking maths. So I actually, when it comes to the maths I know most is 500,000 plus 200,000 naira. I would do that maths properly, of course. What do you expect? So I would, if you had to ask me, Mrs. Mark, you have 1 million naira. If I remove 150,000 naira, what would remain? Of course, I would tell you. But if you write on the board, 2x minus 4b equals, there is this web of confusion. I will start sweating without, even if I'm in a place that there is AC and a lot of ventilation, I will start sweating. And that sweating comes from within. I'm talking about literally, not just talking. So it actually grew over time. I just have the phobia. Even till now, my children, to the glory of God, I have three children. They know, and I told them that mommy does not like maths. And do you know one good thing that God did for me? God gave me maths champions. Like everyone in my house is they are good. So my main reason for saying all this is to introduce you to the main reason why I chose to go with this topic. It actually resonates with me. It's like a personal experience for me. And I do not want any child in your classroom to go through what I went through. I don't want them to see maths as a very big mountain that they cannot surmount. No, it's not supposed to be so. Maths is just like every other topic. So while we are done with that, I want to share my screen. Mrs. Rahina, how do I do that? Can you make
Um,
me, I think you're going to have to make me, what is it called?
I thought I had.
Have you done that?
No, no, no. Let me do that now.
Okay, please do. So I could share my screen.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, you've done it?
Yeah.
Okay. Please let me know when you can see my screen.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, amazing. So before I go into this, I want you to type in the comment section, in the chat box. If you had a child in your classroom that hates maths, like literally, not the one that would try to do it. Like whenever you just write maths on the board, they just put their head down. What would you do? Like, what's the first thing you would do? What would be your first reaction? What's the first reaction, or what would you say first? I've heard teachers say things like, ah, that boy is just too lazy. That boy is just, I don't know, the mother have spoiled him. The only thing he knows is food. You know, what would you say first? Like, what would be your first reaction? If you write maths on the board and that child just, not again. What would you do first? What would you do first? Let me go through the chat box. Oh, someone said, I don't like maths and I'm not keeping it a secret. Please keep mine as a secret. Okay. Oh, you would say, ah, the legendary X has refused to be found. Okay, that's profound. Any other person?
No, I was replying to when you talk about writing X plus something on
Oh,
the.
okay. They are always looking for X. I don't understand.
All
Okay.
right. Miss
Okay, there's some
oh,
responses
the
here.
Oak Science said,
Oh, I will lose interest to teach. Thank you for being honest. I love that. Thank you for being honest. Okay, so I think this person is referring to me that I guess foundation is missing. Yes, yes, definitely. Thank you so much
that's
for that.
to the question you asked just now.
Okay, is that what the person is responding to?
Yes.
Oh, wow. So I need more response, please. I want to know what we would do if you had to come across such a child, because we come across them every day, even in the reading class. They just turn off. It's just like you turning off the lights. They just turn off. They are not interested. And there is nothing you can tell them as at that time. Like, there are some things you can tell them though, but there are some statements you will make that would turn them off. I will try to play a little maths game and with the whole class to ease the tension. Yeah, that is amazing. That would help. That would help. That would help. I hope it's not the game of I gave you five apple. I eat one. How many will remain? Then the child will say 23. I think that will make the whole thing worse. Because sincerely, I think I watched a game where the father was trying to teach the daughter maths, and he brought out okay, math storytelling. Oh, that would be amazing. Wow, that's good. My concentration will be on that child, just to carry him or her along. Amazing. Thank you for that. Oh, we have intentional teachers here. You deserve a round of applause. Please, Miss Rahina, give them, they deserve it. Woo! So the man brought out apples and said, gave the girl 5 apples. Now, let's say you have 5 apples. I took one out of the apple. How many do you have left? The girl still said 5. The father said, no, just look at it. Look. I can see that the man was getting reddish already. Then the mother, where she starts, was like, hold on. Now ask the girl, where is the apple I gave you this morning to school? She said, it's in my bag. So the apple in her bag and the one she has with her, she's actually counting it together. Like, seriously. So for you to even play a math game, you need to be very conscious. Okay. So let us go into what I have here. Now, teaching maths in Key Stage 1 using the CPA approach to build confident learners. Okay, I think I've done that. Now, before we teach maths, I want us to understand who we are teaching. Now, I think I've come across teachers say, you are now in primary 1, you are no longer in baby class. So don't think that I will pamper you the way your teacher pampered you, your nursery 2 teacher pampered you. Like, what information are you passing to the children? They are still babies. For some key stage 1 learners, we have 5 years old, we have 6 years old. So I think those are still forming ages. They are still young. So a key stage 1 child learns through touching because they are still young. They still want to feel what they want to learn from. Touching, seeing, moving, talking, exploring, repetition, which is very, very important. You just have to keep repeating. You just have to keep saying it. You have to keep saying it. You have to keep saying it. They have to touch it. They have to see it. They have to see it moving. They have to see it talking. They even want to watch it. They want you to explore right in front of them. How you remove one and add one. You want to teach them a division, a place value. They see the apple you put on the table. They see the tower you build just for you to remove one, to build your 100, to build your tens. They want to see those things. Don't just come to class and say, today we'll be learning a division 1/4, 2/6. Just writing on the board, just learning abstractly like that. No, I do not advise such for young learners. So they want to see, they want to touch, they want to move it, they want to explore. You have to repeat it for them to understand. And as a key stage 1 child, there are some things that they do not naturally learn from. They don't learn through them. Memorization, lengthy explanation, abstract symbols alone, like I said earlier, just writing it on the board. I think I work as an administrator also for an online school, and one day I joined a class. The tutor, it was a math tutor, and it was teaching, was it addition or something? I can't really remember. And it was his first day of introducing that topic to the child. So he was like, how are you? I think the name of the child was Kobe or so. I know they've taught you this in school. The girl said yes. And he went straight to 5 plus 5. I was like, just like that. As in, just like that. No, there is no, what is it called? There's no proper introduction. There was no definition. There was nothing. You just, were you taught in the school? Yes. 5 plus 5. And the girl just started counting. The girl made some mistakes along the way. It was saying, no, now. I was like, ah, ah. So there are some things that we must not do as educators are teaching the lower primary. Don't just assume. Even if you taught that topic yesterday, when you come to the class today, you still need to do a revision and also still introduce it to them again. Be sure that you are on the same page. So when you are saying A, they won't be saying Y. So they can't learn fast from memorization. You just want them to memorize like something that they do in school. Two times one, two, two times two, four, two times two times two times two times. You will just see them doing the two times, two times. Then call them and ask. Just call one person. 8 times 5. You will not see that child doing like this. You know what the child is doing? 8 times 1, 8, 8 times, until he gets to that 8 times 5. Like, are you kidding me? So, at that stage, they are just memorizing. They don't know yet. They don't even, some of them have not even understood the concept of multiplication. Do you know that in some schools, they start as low as nursery one for them to start doing that memorization? They learn it. They just immediately after the assembly.
Hi, Mr. Olajumoke.
Hello,
Hello,
ma'am. Are
ma'am.
you
Are you
still there?
there?
Okay, I
Okay, I
think
think
her network
network
kicked
is
her out.
out.
So,
So,
so
so
far,
far,
what
what
she
she
said,
said,
which
which
is
is
what
what
we
we
established
established
last
last. Please, no memorization.
is
Please,
not
not
memorization.
memorization.
Do
Do
not
not memorize.
memorize.
Ensure
Ensure that you
that you
teach.
teach.
Ask
Ask
where
where
the
the
teacher,
teacher,
the
the
pupil
pupil
is
is
where
where
at,
at,
or
or
the
the
class.
class.
Then
Then reintroduce,
reintroduce, remind
remind
what
what
has
has
been
been
taught
taught
yesterday,
yesterday,
and
and
then
then
do
do
it
it
again.
again.
Does
Does
anyone
anyone
have any
any
story
story
to
to share?
share, or you have
Have
any
any
question
question
to
to
ask
ask
before
before Miss
Miss Olajumoke
Olajumoke
comes
comes
back?
back?
All
All
right,
right,
let
let
me
me
ask
ask
this
this
question.
question.
I
I
have
have
faced
faced
children
children
like
like this.
this. So,
So
you
you
walk
walk
into
into
a
a class
class for
for
the
the
first
first
time
time
to
to teach
teach a
a
5 year
5-year-old
old or a
or a
6 year
6-year-old
old math,
math,
and
and
the
the
child
child
begins
begins
to
to
cry,
cry,
and
and
the
the
child
child says,
says, I
I
don't
don't
like
like
you
you
because
because
I
I
hate
hate
math.
math.
What
What
would
would
you
you
do?
do?
You
You
can
can
unmute
unmute
to
to
speak
speak
or
or
type
type
in
in
the
the
chat
chat
box.
box.
What
What
would you
would you
do?
do?
The
The
child
child
says,
says,
I
I
do
do
not
not
like
like
math.
math.
I
I
do
do
not
not
like
like
that
that
you
you
are
come in to
coming to
teach
teach
math.
math. So
So
what
what
happened?
happened?
Anybody?
Anybody?
I'll
I'll
call
call
you.
you.
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Um,
Miss
Miss
Esther
Esther
said.
said,
The
the
oaks,
oaks,
what
what
you
you
said,
said,
I'll
I'll
still talk
talk about
about
it.
it. But
But
before
before
then,
then,
Miss
Miss
Esther
Esther
says,
says,
first of all, make
make
the
the child
child my
my
friend.
friend. How?
How?
You know,
You
you have
have limited time within
within
the
the
day,
day
and
and
your
your
lesson
lesson
plans
plans
have been made
made
for
for
the
the
entire
entire week.
week. So,
So what
what would
would
you
you
do
do
to
to
be
be
able
able
to
to
teach
teach
that
that
child
child
in
in
the
a
class
class
of,
of,
let's
let's
say,
say,
15
15
to
to
20
20
children,
children,
and you
and you
have
have
this
this
particular
particular
child?
child?
What
What
would
would
you
you
do?
do?
This
This
is
is
the
the
kind of
kind
like
of
the question
question
Ms.
Ms.
Olajumoke
Olajumoke
asked
asked
earlier.
earlier.
And
And
um, Ms.
Ms.
Miriam
Miriam
said,
said,
I'll
I'll
lose
lose
interest
interest
to
to teach.
teach. It's
It's
your
your
class.
class.
You
You
still
still
have
have
to
to
teach
teach
math.
math.
What
What
would
would
you
you
do?
do?
Um, Miss
Miss
Adele
Adele
said,
said,
I
I
will
will
try
try
to
to
play
play
a
a
little
little
math game
game
with
with
the
the
whole
whole class
class to
to
ease
ease
the
the
tension.
tension.
The
The
child
child
doesn't
doesn't
like
like
math.
math.
What
What
would
would
you
you
do?
do?
Miss
Miss
Obanachi
Obanachi
said,
said,
math
math
storytelling.
storytelling.
Can
Can
you
you
give
give
us
us
an
an
example?
example?
Then
Then
um, Miss
Miss
Falashade
Falashade
said,
said,
my
my
concentration
concentration
will
will
be
be
on
on
that
that
child
child
just to
just to
carry
carry
him
him
or
or
her
her
along.
along.
How
How
will
would
you
you
do
do
that?
that?
For
For
how
how
long
long
will
will
you
you
do
do
that?
it?
Then
Then
Ms.
Miss
Esther
Esther
said,
said,
first
first
of
of
all,
all,
make
make
the
the
child
child
my
my
friend.
friend.
What
What
time
time
frame
frame
do you
do you
have
have
to
to
do
do
that?
that?
And
And
then
then
Miss
Miss
Miriam
Miriam
said,
said,
I'll
I'll
ask
ask
questions
questions
on
on
why
why
the
the
child
child
doesn't
doesn't
like
like
math.
math.
Use
Use
the
the
learner's
learner's
fear
fear
to
to
teach
teach
the
the
concept.
concept.
One
One
of
of
the,
the,
let's
let's
say
say
one
one
of
of
the
the
child's
child
fears
fears
is
is
numbers,
numbers,
knowing
knowing
when
when
to
to
write
write
21
21
instead
instead
of
of
12.
12.
What
What
will
will
you
you
do?
do?
So
So
I'm
I'm
still
still
going to
going to
say
say
what
what
I
I
usually
usually
do
do
because I've
because I've
encountered
encountered
children
children
like
like
this
this
across
across
the
the years.
years. So
So
I'm
I'm
still
still
going
going
to
to
answer.
answer,
But
but
before
before
then,
then, I
I
mean,
Miss
Olajumoke,
Olajumoke,
sorry
sorry
for
for
that.
that.
Hello. I'm really sorry about that. I don't know what happened. It was the
It
same
happens
network
to
I
the
was
best
using
of
to
us.
chat with you, so I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Okay. All
All
right.
right,
So
so
I
I
asked
asked
a
the
question,
question,
the
the
same
same
question you
question you
asked
asked
before.
before.
I asked
Okay.
it again. Now
Now
I painted a
painted a
scenario.
scenario.
I
I
said
said
they
they
walk
walk
into
into
the
the
class
class
for
for
the
the
first
first
time,
time,
and
and
then
then
this
this
child
child
says,
says,
I
I
don't
don't
like
like
you
you
because
because
I
I
hate
hate math.
math. What
Hmm.
What
would
would
you
you
do?
do?
Now,
Now,
this is, I
I
painted
painted
this
this
scenario
scenario
because it has happened
happened
to
to
me
me
not
not
once,
once,
Wow.
not
not
twice.
twice.
And I
And I
use a
use a
particular
particular
strategy
strategy
that has
that
always
always works.
worked. I've
I've
worked
worked
with
with
children
children
in
in
the
the
upper
upper
primary
primary
that
that
way.
way.
I've
I've
worked
worked
with
with
children
children
in
in
secondary
secondary
that
that
way.
way.
And
And
that's
that's
why
why
I'm
I'm
asking.
asking.
I've
I've
worked
worked
also
also
with
with
children
children
in
in
lower
lower
primary,
primary,
and
and
that's
that's
why I
why I
painted
painted
that
that
scenario.
scenario.
And
And
then
then
I
I
went
went
back
back
to
to
ask
ask
everybody that
everybody
I wrote, I said, how
how
will
would
they
they
do
do
that?
that.
Now,
Now,
Miss
Miss
Miriam
Miriam
finally
finally
said,
said,
I'll
I'll
ask
ask
questions
questions
on
on
why
why
the
the
child
child
doesn't
doesn't
like
like
math.
math.
Then
Then
use
use
the
the
learner's
learner's
fear
fear
to
to
teach
teach
the
the
concept.
concept.
This
This
is
is fantastic.
fantastic. Now,
Now,
let me
let me
just
just
share
share
before
before
Miss
Miss
Mark
Mark
continues.
continues.
What do
What do
I
I
do?
do?
I
I
tell
tell
them,
them,
well, I
I
don't
don't
like
like
math
math.
also.
Hmm.
However,
However,
there's
there's
nothing we
nothing we
can
can
do.
do.
We
We
just
just
have
have
to
to
like
like
math
math
because
because
Interesting.
everything
everything
we
we
do
do
is
is
math.
math.
Everything,
Everything,
every
every
time,
time,
every
every
day,
day,
all
all
around
around us
us is
is
math.
math.
For
For
instance,
instance,
what
what
shape
shape
is the
is the
door?
door?
And they
They
say
say
a
a
square,
square,
a
a
rectangle.
Yeah.
That
that
is
is math.
math.
how much
Yes.
biscuits
biscuits
can
can
do you
you
eat
eat
in a year, in a
in a
day?
day?
Sorry.
Sorry.
And
And
they
they
say,
say,
and
and
I
I
said,
said,
see, you
you
just
just
counted.
counted.
That
That
is
is math.
math. How
How
old
old
are
are
you?
you?
They
They
say,
say,
when
when
is
is
your
your
birthday?
birthday?
They
They
say,
say,
that
that
is
is
math.
math.
When
When
your
your
mom
mom
is
is
cooking,
cooking,
the
the
amount
amount
of
of water,
water,
spices,
spices, and
and
all
all
that
that
she
you put,
adds, that
that
is
is math.
math. When do
When
you
do you
go
go
to
to
sleep?
sleep?
When
When
do
do
you
you
wake
wake
up?
up?
That
That
is
is math.
math. You
You
know,
know,
I
I
bring
bring
up
up
all
all
of
of
the
the
relational
relational
things,
things,
and
and
then
then
I
I
ask
ask
children
children
in
in
the
the
class
class
to
to
help
help
me.
me.
Let's
Let's
talk
talk
about
about
everywhere we
everywhere we
can
can
see
see
math
math
because
because
math
math
is
is
everywhere.
everywhere.
And you
And you
see
see
everybody
everybody
not
now
encourage the
encourage the
same
same
child.
child.
And then
And then
we
we
start
start
talking
talking
and
and
all
all
that.
that.
Then
Then
finally,
finally,
I
I
write
write
math, write
write numbers
numbers, and
and
I
I
say,
say,
erase
erase
it.
it.
And
And
they
they
erase
erase
it.
it.
And
And
I
I
say,
say,
you're
you're
bigger
bigger
than
than
that
that
number.
number.
You're
You're
bigger
bigger
than
than
math.
math.
That
That
means
means
math
math
should be
should be
scared
scared
of
of
you
you.
You.
instead of the other
The
way
way
around.
around.
Wow.
And it
It
always
always
works.
Hmm.
These
these
children
children
eventually
eventually
will
will
look
look
at
at
it.
it.
Oh,
Oh,
then
then
one
one
more
more
thing
thing
I
I
tell
tell
them.
them.
After
After
teaching
teaching
you,
you,
I
I
will
will
show
show
you a
you a
shortcut.
shortcut.
There's
There's
always
always
a
a
shortcut
shortcut
in
in
math.
math.
That
That
alone,
alone,
boom,
boom,
they're
they are
interested.
interested.
And
Yes.
from there, we
We
go
go
on.
on.
So
So
that
that
is
is
my
my
little
little
secret
secret
on
on
how
how
I
I
teach
teach
children
children
that
that
do
do
not
not
like
like
math.
math.
Math. Over
Over
to
to
you,
you,
Miss
Miss
Mark.
Mark.
Wow, that's amazing. That is amazing, especially the shortcut part. Like the children we have now, just mention shortcut, like they are there. They don't want to stress their brain. They don't want to do anything that would take much of their time. So that is amazing. That's profound. So I would go back to sharing my screen now.
Yeah.
Do I still have it? Let me see. I can't find it here. It's not here.
Right.
While
While
Miss
Miss
Mark
is
is still
still
searching,
searching,
let
let
me
me
welcome Miss
Miss Amaka,
Amaka, Miss
Miss
Okoye,
Square,
Mr.
Mr.
Isaac,
Isaac,
Miss
Miss Ursula.
Ursula. Some of
Some
the
of the
names
names
I've
I've
called
called
here
here
are
are
people
people
that
that
you
you
would
would
listen
listen
to
to
over
over
the
the
next
next weekend
weekends from
from
tomorrow,
tomorrow.
as a matter of fact. And
Uh,
And
then
then
earlier
earlier
on,
on,
the
the
oak
oak
said
said
some
some
things
things
said
said
to
to
learners
learners
actually
actually
put
put
them
them
off.
off.
That
That
was
was
when
when
Mr.
Miss
Mark
Mark
was
was
saying
saying
stuff
stuff
that
that
children,
children
teachers
teachers
say,
say,
you're a
you're a
big
big
boy
boy now,
now, and all
all
of
of
that.
that.
They
They
need
need
more
more
encouragement
encouragement
and
and
motivation
motivation
to
to
support
support
their
their
learning.
learning.
But
And
actually,
actually,
they are big
they are
boys
big
now.
ones.
So,
So
Miss
Miss
Mark,
Mark,
why
why
shouldn't we
shouldn't we
say
say
that?
that?
Over
Over
to you,
to you,
Miss
Miss
Mark, if you're ready.
thank you very much, ma'am, for that. So I was actually sharing my son's multiplication journey. So we're in their school, they were also using that method of repetition. Would I call it repetition, memorization? They wanted them to just memorize, so he had issues. So I'm an educator, my husband is an educator, is
Um,
so we had to sit down like, no, this it can't work. If you ask him any number multiply by this number, he has to start from the tops. So it wasn't working. It can't work. So despite the fact that I had phobia for maths, I didn't want that to affect my children. And I'm grateful to God I didn't. But now, with God's help and a lot of intensity, we intensify a lot of on teaching and all that. Recently, I was, I think it was preparing for something, and I said, okay, let's play a game. And the game is basically maths, even though I don't know maths. So I told him, I'll give him a number. This times this. You must answer in seconds. This times this. And it was giving me the answer that I was like, wow. So I think we just need to be intentional. Memorization will only cause more harm than good. It will make them so stuck to it that if you try to teach them another method, it will look as if it's just like building a house on the wrong foundation. You might have to, it will be very hard to repair and renovate. And it will also be difficult for you to pull it down and start building again. So from the foundation, we as teachers, we have to just try our best to get it right. So we stopped at understanding the key stage one learner. So I said memorization, no. Lengthy explanation, no. Abstract symbols alone, it can't work. Some of them will be confused. So I would even suggest before they start doing addition, subtraction, division, they should have a picture of it in their classroom. It's not just the day that you want to start addition, 1+1, or some teachers will just go from, they were just learning numbers. They would just go from 7+3, like, or 7+10. So they believe that is it not to just count stroke? You will get it. No, it shouldn't be. So they should get familiar with the symbols. They should know the symbols by name. They should look at it and tell you, what symbol is this? Addition. What does it mean to add together? What is this? Subtraction, to remove or to take away. So when they get, before you even introduce 5+5, 2+2, 1+1, they should know the symbols. They should know what they stand for. So when they are seeing it on the board or in a worksheet, it won't be strange to them. They are even the one that will call your attention to it and say, oh, Miss Rahina, look at it. This is addition. You'll be like, aha, the journey will be smooth. Instead of them asking you, what, auntie, what is this? Just know that you are in for a long journey. So now I wrote some examples there. Now consider this. To many young learners, this is simply a collection of symbols. That is 7+5 = 12. Like, what does this even mean? This plus. What does this equals to even mean? Like, they are confused. They just left nursery 2. They just left KG. They don't know much about addition. In fact, I think KG2, they are doing addition. Yes, but the only difference is in primary 1, they look at bigger numbers. So now instead of just going straight to the symbols, you can just give them 7 bottle tops, 5 bottle tops. Suddenly, like immediately, in fact, when I started my own, I used stones. I will tell them, I'll take them, there's a place where we keep stones. I'll take them to where they will pick the stones themselves. So they want to do something fun. And you need to have some stones with you so we could use it. Then we'll go outside. I like learning. I like hands-on learning a lot. I love it. I love it. I can't just come to class and start. I'm so bad at it. Let me put it that way, that even when I'm teaching adults, I still believe that you must touch something. You must do something with your hands. So I'll take them to where we get the stones in the compound. They'll pick it themselves. Just pick as much as you can gather. Let's just go to the classroom. Then we'll start. Put the stones aside. Bring out 2. Bring out another 2. How many do you have? You don't start using objects when they are confused. Let it be the foundation. Let it be what they would actually get. It's like a normal thing to them. That's how it should be. Okay? So that is when mathematics becomes real. A lot of people today are bad at math. They are struggling at math just because the teacher jumped from number 1 to number 12 because they believe that they are old enough. They should know how to calculate what is there in 12+2. What is there in 12+2? See, my dear teacher, there is a lot. A lot is there because we have different learners. The funniest part is by the time you start it that way, some learners will get it immediately. And let's say we have like 10 learners in a class, you have like 6 of them already catching up. The remaining 4, some teachers will just push them aside, label them lazy or nonchalant or something like that. We shouldn't do that. Those remaining 4 might just be your real champions.
Yeah.
So, another subheading is why children struggle with maths. Why? Now, mathematics is introduced too abstractly. They just write it on the board. They just introduce it. There is nothing interesting about it. So teachers begin with symbols even before the meaning, before they understood, before, like I said earlier, they need to know the signs before they even start writing, before they start doing any of those things. I want you to write it in the chat box. I want you to type in the chat box. I will teach with hands-on learning materials. Type it. I will teach with hands-on learning material. Please, because when you write it, it becomes part of you. So type it. I will teach with hands-on material. I will teach with hands-on material. I will teach with hands-on material. Please type it, type it, type it, type it. I will teach. Olajumoke, I will teach with hands-on material, right? I will teach with hands-on material. Thank you, thank you. I can see it coming in. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, great. Thank you, amazing, amazing. So another reason why children struggle with maths, concepts are moved too quickly. It happens. I think I just like using my son as an example because he's the youngest and is the youngest. So there was a topic, I think in their school then, where he used to school, they would teach one topic for, is it 2 days? And there was a day he came home and said, Mom, I don't understand this maths. I've forgotten the topic. I think it was in year 4. I don't understand this maths. And my teacher started another topic today. I was like, just like that. He said, yes, that they do, I think they do maths 4 times a week. So you have to do maths, one topic Monday, Tuesday, another topic Wednesday, Thursday. Are you serious? So didn't you tell her you don't understand? And I told her, but she said she would explain to me later. Did she explain to you later? He said no. So when my husband came back, I had to like plead and say, please teach him this topic because I am sure that he's going to come across it in exam or something. He's going to need it. That was how this guy was able to understand this topic. And I am so sure that other children in that class do not understand that topic as well. So you move quickly. You just started, what is it called? Place value. You just started place value on Monday. And before you know it, according to your curriculum, according to your scheme, dear teachers, our scheme people, the only thing they do is follow scheme. I hope we don't have them here. They just follow. You know that song, Follow Your Leader, follow your leader. That's what they do. They just follow the scheme. They just follow. They don't want to hear anything. They don't even want to, no, so that they will not say, I'm not doing my work, or I must follow it. So on Monday, you do place value. On Tuesday, addition. On Wednesday, subtraction. On Thursday, madam, be coming down. Please, we are actually forming lives. We are building lives. We are not meant to confuse them. So when you move quickly from a concept, they don't understand it yet. They have not even grasped it. They are not, it has not settled in them. You just move quickly. Of course, they will struggle. Of course. At the end of let's say they have a midterm test, and as a teacher, you now jam pack all the questions right on the board. And the way you wrote it, they write it back to you. Then you get angry. Hey, these children, after all my effort, Mr. Peter, come and see. I told them, look at it. I told them. So they would the way you did it, how do they normally even say it? Is it like give la pour? or la Paula take or something like that. Immediately you give them, they will point back like that. Even if they don't understand, they will do same. So another thing that can make children struggle with math is um, mathematical language is unfamiliar with them, such as some of the words we use in the math class, of course, more than, less than, altogether, difference, equal, share, group. So before you get to this level, they should have an introduction, a fun introduction to maths on each of these things. Even I myself, I can still remember vividly on this less than and greater than. Yes, we call it greater than then. Greater than, less than. It's so confusing. Hey God, it's so confusing. Greater than, less than, and all that. In fact, do you know the funniest one? My teacher then, she really tried. She sings with it and all that, but still, Olajumoke did not get it. Oh, God, I beg. I want to pray for teachers here. Eh? I want to pray for you. I want you to shout a big amen and type that amen in the chat box. May you not get a teacher that will trouble you like Olajumoke. No. May you not get a
Amen.
may you not get a learner that will trouble you the way I did my teachers. Jesus. I am sure if that some of them can see me now, they will like, oh my, they will share testimony in their various religious centers because it's so hard to believe. So, um, mathematical language can be unfamiliar. If they are not familiar with it, it will cause confusion. Yes, so it must be taught explicitly. They must understand it before you write it on the board. They must have seen it. They must have gotten familiar with it before you write it. So when you write it on the board, they'll be like, yes, I know it. That's how it should be. Another one is children fear making mistakes. Ah, that was my number one. That was my number one. I think thinking about it, I think that was my number one problem then. I'm always scared of making mistakes. You can't catch me making mistake because I'm not even going to try. Isn't it when I try, you will now say this girl made mistake. I don't even try at all. So let us be looking now. I don't want problem. So I just keep quiet and allow other people to make all the mistakes. Why I just watch. I don't like to make mistakes. I don't like to. So I think when a child has that phobia from the house, that is, some children in their house, they don't allow them to talk. They don't have freedom to express themselves. The parents believe that when they do that, they will mess up. So they try to shut them up all the time. When such a child enters your class, you will have issues getting the best out of that child. Because that child, right from the home, you have put it in that child that in outside or anywhere you find yourself with friends or anyone, don't talk. If you talk, or a mother telling a child, anytime you open your mouth, you just be saying rubbish. Ha! As in, like, excuse you. So that child believes that if I get to the class and I say, I know it, I don't know it, because he knows that the mother has already said, anytime you open your mouth to say rubbish, such will kill the morale of that child. So you also need to know where that child that you're teaching is coming from. Seriously, that's why we need prayers. God will help us. So I have identified few of the problems in the classroom. So we are looking at the CPA approach. The CPA approach. I really wish when I was younger, they used this method to teach me. It would have really helped me. Now, the CPA model provides a bridge from experiencing to understanding. The CPA stands for Concrete Pictorial Abstract. Concrete Pictorial Abstract. I want you to get that. I want you to understand it. I want it to get stuck to you. Concrete Pictorial Abstract. I want you to even type it in the chat box. Concrete Pictorial Abstract. Please type it. Concrete Pictorial Abstracts. Now, children should travel through these 3 stages. They have to. Skipping a stage creates gaps in understanding. Now, what's the first stage? The first stage is concrete learning. I don't know. My eyes is becoming so blurry, even with my glasses. It's
Sorry.
becoming so blurry. I don't know if it's the lights. Okay, it's better.
Okay.
So at the
Sorry
concrete
about that.
stage, children physically manipulate objects. They deal with objects. What is it called? They use their hands. They touch things. They feel what you are trying to explain to them. They pick the object and add them together. Now let's look at some examples. We have bottle tops, we have counters. When I was younger, it used to be counters, beads, cubes, pegs, sticks, fruits, buttons. So we all know teaching 4+3, you don't need to say 4+3, just bring out 4 pegs. Or yes, then we used to use a matchstick too. I remember my teacher or someone teaching with that matchstick, then you put them together, you arrange, you add them together, you get your answers. So you place them on the counter, you put them together. The children themselves count it and they understand. They understood. But I feel that one of the first challenge we have is if we start with this concrete the first week, the second week, we believe that they're already good. So there's no need to continue that way. You put those things aside and you now start teaching abstractly. It will affect them. So you need to allow it to settle in. Now, some people will now say, the schools I'm working and they don't give us materials. My darling, if you wait for schools to give you material, you will be on a very long thing. So because you want your learners to be exceptional, you have to just improvise. If you know that some of these things are not provided. I had a friend, a teacher friend, was it not last year? She wanted to teach division for, is it year 2 or year 3? She actually bought a pizza. She went to Domino. She got pizza, like she bought it for real. Brought it to the classroom and she used it. I was like, wow, go girl. You're really, really intentional. And do you know what? That topic, they did best in it than every other topic that she taught. Because she went all way out. I'm not saying we should use our salary to buy pizza. You can actually do other things. You can do it could be a container from your house that you're not making use of. It could be anything. Just don't wait for school supplies before you start doing something. And if you have the school supplies, make use of them. Please. Please. So the next one, okay, the key principle here is if a child cannot touch, they may not fully understand. If a child cannot touch at that early stage, they may not fully understand. So please, let's try our best. The next one is pictorial learning. At this stage, children represent objects visually. They want to see it. They want to see what you're talking about. I remember one of my online classes, the child just have issues with addition, does not even want to add anything at all. What I did, I went to download all types of what is it called, worksheets that has objects, that has sea creatures, that had cars, was a boy, that had cars, that had things that he likes. Those cartoon characters he likes, I had to create some myself. And when I started doing that, I put this is favorite cars. I merged them, 3 of them up, 2 of them down, different colors and all that and all that. And do you know what? Within 2 lessons, this boy was already doing addition. I think as at that time it was 5 or 6 or thereabout. He was not interested in it. He will tell you, Mrs. Mark, I don't know it. And there is nothing you can do. There's no how you explain. He will still tell you, I don't know it. So when I just told him, I want us to play a fun game today, I brought some pictures to the class. I just changed. I said, how many cars are this? Can you look at them? He counted it. How many cars are down here too? And that was how he piqued interest. And now his favorite topic now is, Mrs. Mark, where are those pictures? I want to see, I want to count how many. I want to. So I'm even the one begging him now that it's okay since you can. So the child is no longer touching object, but is still seeing quantities. So they need to understand. After the concrete level, you move to pictorial. They need to see it. They need to understand it because by the time they see it, they process it. So picture becomes a bridge between objects and symbols. Now, if the child has not left the concrete level, they can move to pictorial level. Now, you will now say, since they already done concrete now, they can count. No need of pictorial level. Let's leave that one and move to, please don't do that. There's going to be adverse effects. So the next one is the abstract learning. Only do we, at this stage, we introduce symbols. It's at this stage that we introduce symbols. At this stage, you already have, what is it called? They've already gone through the concrete level. They've gone through pictorial. At this stage, majority of them in your classroom already understand. Majority, because I know that there are still some amazing learners that might not follow every other person's milestone, that might not achieve your milestone. So you just have to be patient with children like that. So the symbols, at this stage, the symbols, oh my God, my eyes. So at this stage, the symbols carry meaning. The child has already experienced the concept. The number sentence becomes a summary of understanding rather than something to memorize. At this stage, they already have, please excuse me, Grace, please get me the other glasses. So at this stage, they already gone through 2 stages, and this particular stage, it's going to be easier if you explain it better or if you introduce the concept in an amazing way as well. So the number sentence becomes a summary to them. They are not in the state of confusion. They already have the right foundation. It's just for you to build on it. And when you're building on it as well, you need to be very careful. So how do we apply this CPA across the key stage, all the topics? So for concrete, we need counters. For pictorials, you need drawings. For abstracts, check that back. For abstracts, we need number sentences. Now for subtraction, of course, we need concrete because subtraction also can be a big challenge. For pictorial, crossing out drawings. So abstracts, subtraction, equations. That's for the higher classes. Now for multiplication, you need equal groups. For pictorial, you need arrays. For abstract, you need, please, if you need this document, of course, it will be available for you, so you can go through it later on. So for fractions, you need sharing of objects. For pictorials, shaded shapes. And therefore, place value, you need bundles of sticks. This is where your matchsticks comes in. Some people even use broomstick and all that. So children learn maths by talking about maths. Please, let them be better at what they do by your guidance. I'm really sorry, my eyes is giving me, Miss Rahina, please bear with me.
Sorry
about that. I'm feeling sorry. I'm feeling for you.
Sorry.
There's no problem, I'll be fine. So children learn maths by talking about maths. Let them talk about it, let them have a conversation. So instead of saying what is the answer, you wrote on the board 2 plus. Instead of saying what's the answer, you should replace it with how did you get your answer. Can you explain your thinking, especially those that would tell you that 5 plus 5 is 20? They wrote it. Don't argue with them. Don't tell them, is that what I taught you? Don't do that. Just tell them, please, madam, explain your thinking. How did you come about this answer? Why does this work? How did you get it? What did you add? Did you bring object from your house, or you added imaginary objects to it? So when you ask them to explain, some people will talk, some people will now be wondering, it's true. How? How? So mathematical discussion develops reasoning. Of course, they start talking. In fact, if you want to really enjoy this most, you pair them up. Then you tell them, Timmy, your friend Shade said this is the answer. Do you agree? Are you sure? How did you get it? They work together. It helps them. So some 6 practical activities for KS1 classroom. Number bond ons. Yes, this actually makes sense. Even in my reading class, I do this as well. So I might not be able to go through all this because of our time, Ms. Rahina. Right? I'm sorry for taking much time. So we can actually have the shopping corner too. A friend of mine also, they had this, they were talking about money. So they told the parents that they want them to experience what it feels like to do this buying and selling. They want to practicalize it. Please, on so day, give your children certain amount of money. We need to go out for shopping. They gave them money, of course. Some people 3,000, some people 2,000, and they took them to supermart. Then they bought things. You bought something of 1,000. Well, how much will be your change? You have it and all that. There was one that I experienced last year that I really love. They actually had the markets in their school. So, though the school had quite a number, they divided the children into 2. Some were sellers, some were buyers. So, all the people that were sellers, they gave them what to sell: books, foodstuff, these, blah, 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 and all that. Those that were buyers, they told their parents to give them some money. So, when they came to school, the trading took place. Imagine me, I went to buy a pencil from a girl. I gave her I think 500 naira. Then she gave me 1,000 naira back. I was like, eh? So it was a real life session. It was fun. Everybody were laughing. It was a real marketplace, and it was. So it is always good to have not just a shopping corner. They should have a real life experience about it. So I have to stop here. Let me just go to the final reflection. If you need the document, please, I'll drop it, Miss Rahina. Children should not move from concrete to abstract overnight. It shouldn't be. Every child deserves the bridge called pictorial. And the goal of KS1 Math is not simply to produce children who can calculate. No, it's not so. I think they should be able to relate. They should be able to relate. And the goal is to produce children who understand, reason, solve problems, and believe they can succeed in mathematics. So do not forget to also use the CPA, concrete, pictorial, abstract. Thank you so much, Miss Raina. If there is any question, I will be willing to answer. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Miss Olajumoke. You had me reflecting on when I was teaching Key Stage 1. A lot of memories and all that. Thank you so much. Okay, does anyone have any question? Anyone? I do have a question. Now, talking about the scheme, Mr. Olajumoke,
Yes,
the
ma'am.
scheme has been set. The school requires you to teach it. Government requires you to teach it and be done with it by the end of the school year, because they will move on to a new class with to bigger concepts. So what do we do? Because I don't know. If you
If you
don't
don't
teach
teach
it,
it,
management
management
will
will
query
query
you.
you.
Why
Why
didn't you
didn't you
teach?
teach?
If
If
you
you
have
have,
as we
as we
say,
say,
slow
slow
learners
learning
in
in
your
your class,
class, it's
it's
your
your
fault.
fault.
You've
You've
not
not
done
done
your
your
assignments
assignments
properly.
properly.
So
So
what
what
do
do
we
we
do?
do?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. It's this issue of scheming, I think is a national infestation because I see teachers in the classroom, they are more worried about covering scheme than impacting in their learners. They are more worried, like, hey, this is week 3. And we are still in addition. These children, you see them jittering, shaking, and like they're not even concerned if these same children that they are talking about is even getting it. So I don't think the problem is the teachers in the classroom. The problem is at the top. I'm not talking about management of the school, the whole board of education in Nigeria. I think what our scheme should target transforming children instead of just them learning. Now, I asked someone recently, I think my children were preparing for a test or exam recently, I don't know, I can't really remember. And my child was reading something out loud. So I was like, I did this thing too when I was in school. Did I use it for anything? I was just thinking out loud, like this thing. I've forgotten the topic. Oh God, I've forgotten it. I said, this thing that you are reading now, I read it when I was in school. And now I am an adult. I've gone to school. I've gone through the university. There are so many things that we learn that we are not even using. Like, it's not even useful. So I think what we need to do is we have some, I've actually worked in some schools that their management are very intentional. They don't follow the Lagos State scheme. They don't follow some schemes that all they do is work, work, work in that scheme. They are not actually targeted towards producing something creative or amazing with our children. So it is not the fault of any teacher that they have to follow scheme. See, let me tell you, if you don't follow scheme, your management they will fight you. Some will even give you query that And do you know the worst part? When you follow that scheme to the letter and your children are not doing well, they'll still come back to you that you're not working. So you need to use some wisdom. You need to know when to pause. You need to know when to play. You need to know when to stop. And at every point, you should be able to report back to them and say, see, I am following this thing to the letter. This is exactly what is going on. Do you think we should continue? That's in my own opinion. So you will not have issues with them. Thank you, ma'am.
All
All
right,
right,
thank
thank
you. I'm going
I'm
to
going
make
to make a
contribution
contribution
to
to this.
this, but
But
before
before
I
we
do,
do,
Mr.
Mr.
Maga has
Margaret,
asked a question. We'll take that. But
but
the
the
Oak
Oak
Science
Science
Support
Support
says
says
schools
schools
need
need
to
to
be
be more
more understanding.
understanding.
Let
Let
teachers
teachers
manage
manage learners
learners the
the
way
way
they
they
understand
understand
and
and
know
know
better.
better.
Okay,
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 Miss Faith. Miss
Miss
Faith
Faith
Okoye,
Okoye,
please
please
speak
speak
before
before
I
I
say
say
something.
something.
Hi,
Hello.
good evening, Miss Olajumoke. Good evening, Miss Rahina.
Good evening.
Thank you for this wonderful session. It's been thoroughly engaging, although I couldn't join from start. But I was able to learn a lot from the part where I joined from. I have a question. I love the CPA approach
Okay,
that the concrete.
before you ask that
That
question,
question,
I
I
thought you
thought
wanted to
you
say
said
something
something
regarding
regarding
this.
this.
Before
Before
you
you
ask,
ask,
let me
let me
just say
say
something
something
regarding
regarding
this
this.
scheme.
All right.
Okay,
Okay,
so
so
while
while
I was actively teaching
years
years back,
back,
one of
one of
my
my
headmasters, Mr.
Mr.
Bruce,
Bruce,
he
he
said,
said,
teach
teach
children
children
and
and
not
not
the
the
curriculum.
curriculum.
Now,
Now,
this
this
headmaster
headmaster
is
is
an
an
exceptional
exceptional
one.
one.
He was a teacher. He has been through it all. So he understood some certain things. Now, when he said that, I asked questions and he made me understand something. So this is my approach. I have taught a particular class division for more than 1 week. Now, in that particular class, I was a class teacher. I took math, English, and some other subjects. So for that period, some subjects, I silenced it because I needed these children to understand long division, division as a whole. Now, these were the same set of children. The previous term, we did division, and they understood it. Coming to do it in a new term, I just wanted to refresh, and it was like they'd never seen it. So I went to the school management and I told them, this week, by this particular time, I was supposed to do multiplication and division. So this week, I'm not going to teach multiplication. I was going to teach division. So I did it that week. I didn't get the results I wanted. I told my superiors again. Then the next week, I started the division again. I had to think of different approaches. What do I need to do? I changed a lot of things to get this set of children to understand it, because we know that division is vital. If you don't know division, how would you start making your fractions and all that? So that was what I did. And then eventually, every child, it clicked. Then for the topics I needed to cover up, I looked at other topics. Which topic can I afford to teach within 2 days and the children will get it? Which topics can I afford to teach within one lesson and the children will get it? And I knew how to mix match. I did not finish my scheme for that term. It was the second term. Some of the things I had to teach, I took it over to third term. However, I did it with the approval of management. So if you're going to do something like that, ensure your line manager, the school head, know what you're doing. Carry people along. Don't just sit and decide to do some magic. Of course, you'll be queried. Thank you. So, Miss Faith Okoye, please go on.
All right. Thank you very much, Miss Rahina. Okay, my question is this. The CPA approach, that's concrete, then the pictorial and the abstract. When children, most of the time I've taught children in lower primary too, so I understand very well how much hands-on material helps them to learn and to calculate in mathematics. But then when you have that child getting to classes like year 3, year 4, year 5, right? When at that stage now we expect them to be doing things like 200 divided by 5 and getting their answer. But a lot of them, but no, let me not say a lot, some children still want to remain at that concrete level where they would want to maybe get sticks or get stones and count 200 to divide. So sometimes transitioning from that concrete to abstract can be a challenge for some children, because currently I have children in year 5 that I teach that still struggle with division. Okay. A lot of times when we are solving on the board or when I give them class tasks to attempt, you would realize that instead of dividing using your maybe long or short division, they are still relying on counting sticks. And I no blames at all. This is what they were taught with when they were much younger in the lower primary. But how do we get such children to transition from concrete to abstract as they grow? That's my question.
Miss Mark, did you get the question?
Hello.
Okay, we
we
can
can
hear
So,
hear
you.
you.
yes, you said, how do we move from pictorial to concrete to abstract, right?
And
And
when,
when,
at
at
what
what stage
stage do
do
we,
we,
Yes,
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 yes. So I think for if we are to look at it by class, for me, what I do is what I did then was from key stage 1, 2, they were still using pictorial. So I think from year 3, you can move into abstract. Because as at that stage, their feet should be strong by now. Should be, not must be. Should be strong. So I think as at that stage, you can move them to abstract learning. But if you can't just do it totally and at once, at least by when they are in year 2, they should have started practicing what it feels like to learn maths abstractly. So sometimes they have the pictorial, sometimes they just do it because you're preparing them ahead.
right. Thank you,
That's
Miss
thank you.
that's
Mark.
yes, ma'am. Please, ma'am, can I be excused? We need to prepare for our meeting.
All
All
right,
right,
yes, I
yes,
understand.
fine.
Thank
Thank
you.
Yes.
you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate. And
Thank
Thank
you,
see
Miss
you
you.
some
Mark.
other time. Yes,
Please,
Please,
ma'am.
send
just
me
make
the
the
link.
link.
Okay, I will. I
Yeah,
will. Yes, ma'am.
okay. Thank
Thank
you,
you,
thank
thank
you,
you,
thank
thank
you.
you.
All
All
right,
right,
to
so but
buttress
this
to
is
what on what
what Miss
Miss Faith
Faith
said,
said.
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
in
in
primary
primary
level
you
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 totally
totally
remove
remove
abstract
abstract
because
because
there
the
are some
learners,
learners, I'm
I'm
careful with
careful
my
with my
words
words
here,
here.
there are
There are
some
some
learners
learners
that still
who
need
need concrete
concrete and
and abstract.
abstracts. I
I
still
still
have
have learners
learners that
that
to
to
teach
teach
equivalent
equivalent
fractions,
fractions,
I
I
need
need
concrete.
concrete.
I
I
still
still
have
have
learners
learners
to
to
teach
teach
equivalent
equivalent
fractions,
fractions,
I
I
need
need abstract.
abstracts.
So
Also
also depends
depends on
on
the
the
topic
topic
you're
you're
teaching.
teaching.
When
When
it
it
comes
comes
to
to
addition
addition
or
of
thousands,
thousands,
hundreds,
hundreds,
thousands,
thousands,
and
and
all of
all of
that,
that,
when it
when it
comes
comes
to
to
division,
division,
when it
when it
comes to
comes to
multiplication,
multiplication,
this is
this
a
is a
continuous
continuous
concept
concept
that
that
should
should
have
have
gradually
gradually
transitioned
transitioned
from
from
key
key
stage
stage
one,
one,
from
from
primary
primary one
one to
to
primary
primary two
two to
to
primary
primary
three.
three.
By the
By the
time they
time they
understand the
understand the concept
concepts and
and
it
it
is
is
built
built
on
on
gradually,
gradually,
then they
then they
will
will
be
be
able
able
to
to
do
do
all
all
of
of
that.
that.
When
When
it
it
comes
comes
to,
to,
for
for
instance,
instance,
handling
handling
data,
data,
they
they
need
need pictures.
pictures. Depends
Depends
on the
on the
data
data
anyway.
anyway.
Handling
Handling
data
data
needs
needs
to
to
do
do
with
with
pictures,
pictures.
so in your graphs and all of that. So
So
depends
depends
on the
on the
topic, depends
depends
on
on
the
the
child, depends
depends
on
on
the
the
level.
level.
You
You
need
need
to
to
know
know
when to
to
gradually
gradually
come out
come
of
out of abstract
abstract or
or
sorry,
sorry,
learn how to move from concrete to
to
pictorial to
to abstract.
abstract. Then
Then
Miss,
Miss,
I think have I
have I
answered you,
answered
Miss
you,
Faith? Miss Faith,
Miss Faith?
have I
Have
answered
I
you?
answered you?
All
All
right.
right.
Then
Then
Yes,
Miss
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 Amaka
Amaka,
Amaka.
asks, Miss
Miss
Faith,
Faith,
Yes, the response did justice to my question. Thank you very much, man.
you're
you're
welcome.
welcome.
Now,
Now,
earlier,
earlier,
Miss Amaka
asked,
asked, how
how
do
do
we
we
know,
know,
how
how
do
do
we
we
now
know
teach multiplication
multiplication
without
without
memorizing
memorizing
the
the
table?
table?
I teach multiplication without memorization. Why? I hated timetable as a child. I remember primary 4, I got, let me say, Nigerian curriculum by my dad. You can imagine 4 times table, I won't forget. We did 4 times table, and then under duress, of course, you know how we do it. Then, Daddy, can I use myself? He said yes. I went. I came back, and he asked me again. Nothing. I'm that kind of child. I don't know how to memorize. If I don't know it, I don't know it. I have to know it. So, becoming a teacher, I vowed I will not teach children to memorize and sing the timetable. I won't do that. What would I do? I will teach processes. How? That is because if you teach to sing and the child sang from 2 times 1 to 2 times 12, then the child goes to 2 times 13, the child will say, my teacher did not teach me. We know that, right? However, if you teach concepts, the child will not forget. This is where skip counting comes on. Keep on adding 2. Keep on adding 2. You add 2. You add 2. Within the classroom, you could draw boxes and then they jump. Draw a number line and they jump 2, 4, 6. How many times? You draw boxes 2 times. Timetable just means groups. So if I say 2 times 6, so I mean 2 in 6 groups. That's how I teach it. And it's worked for me. No child that I teach will recite the timetable for you. But ask them any number, they will be able to give you the answer. All you need to do, give them a few minutes and they will know it. And then the regular 2 times up to 12, they will know it. Then they also use shortcuts. There's always a shortcut. There's always a trick. There's always a way. Find it. And there is always that one child that will grasp it. So I don't know if I've answered you, Ms. Amaka. Okay, so thank you everybody for joining. Do we have any other question? Okay, so Ms. Olajumoke has a platform and she has prayers just now. Teachers are coming to pray. So I'm just going to copy the link and drop here if you want to be a part of it. Please, you can copy. If you're connected with me in one group or the other, I'm going to drop, that's in my community. I'm going to drop it there also in case you want to join the prayer. The prayer is for 7 o'clock. It's a prayer for teachers, by teachers, considering all that is going on in the country and all. So, thank you everybody for joining in. Make it a date tomorrow. Tomorrow we have another one for this time for Kistechu, that's upper primary, learning how to teach math in upper primary. If you want to share with your colleagues, you want to share with a particular parent, your sisters, your brothers, church members. Link is available also. Thank you all so much. Thank you for the support. Thank you for staying till this time. You can unmute and say goodbye. Thank you so much. Thank you, Miss Georgina. Thank you, Miss Ursula. Thank you, everyone. We'll be seeing some of these faces soon. Thank you, Miss Faith. Thank you, Miss Nonso. Thank you, Miss Ayesufu. Thank you, Miss Amaka. Thank you. You can unmute and say your goodbyes.
Thank you, Miss Mark.
Thank you so much. Good night. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye.
Goodbye.